The environmental group Greenpeace released a statement claiming the spill underscores a lack of regulation by the Brazilian government and the mining companies. Adriana Charoux is with Greenpeace-Brazil. She's joining us from Sao Paulo via Skype. Welcome to our show, Adriana. I want to ask you about this disaster. Your organization said this is a crime against the environment. Why do you say so?
Hello. This new disaster with the ore tailings dam, this time in Brumadinho, in Minas Gerais, is a sad consequences of the lessons not learned in the past, with the mining companies responsible for the tragedy with Samarco, also controlled by Vale. So cases like these, therefore, are not accidents, but social and environmental crimes. They could be avoided if the legislation on mining exploitation and the environmental licensing weren't being flossing as they are happening at the moment.
So you're suggesting this is more of a man-made disaster than a natural disaster. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we are saying. Greenpeace is sad and shocked, but not surprised. We said that if the environmental legislation and the mining legislation weren't improved, this would be a factory of Marianas. And unfortunately, 3 years after, we are seeing the tragedy that we are seeing now.
Well, according to Vale's website, the mine waste is composed of sand and non-toxic materials. However, a United Nations report found that the waste from the 2015 disaster contained high levels of toxic heavy metals. What do you make of this?
Yes, this is still be investigated and properly addressed and punished and repaired. What we do know is that there are different metals and especially ore. And we don't have the same idea because the indigenous groups, for instance, are already complaining that the color of the river is totally different and the fishes are dying. So it's already impacting. The contamination already happened. We still need to study and make more checking to understand the proportion of what is going on at the moment.
Right. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro toured the area. He says the government will create a council to monitor and supervise policy responses to the dam collapse. Bolsonaro campaigned on the promise to start Brazil's economy by deregulating the industry. Do you think this incident will impact his plans for environmental regulations and mining reform?
We do hope that this really changed the way how Bolsonaro and the new government is treating the environmental issues. They are treating as a kind of barrier for the development when it's exactly the opposite, is really to prevent cases like this. He was saying to flossing the mining code and the environmental licensing, and this is the opposite that he must do, and I do hope that he changed his idea.
Okay, finally, how do you think incidents like this can be avoided in the future in Brazil?
Definitely being better investigated, punished and repaired. To this day, 3 years after the mudslide that happened in Mariana, the population weren't compensated and the ecosystem restoration weren't done. So we do hope that the population, even the communities, are listened this time because they didn't have the chance to participate of the decision how it's going to be the support and the compensation about what is going on now, which is the main worry of us, to offer all the support for these people that is heavily impacted.
Adriana Charoux with Greenpeace Brazil, thank you so much for your insight.